On May 23, 1993, wax, or the discovery of television among the bees, entered the internet, projected by a cable into a wall. Inside that internet, there are no movies there. And so wax, waiting until the last frame enters the wall, then begins the first movie on the internet, to continue forever, for that is how the first movie on the internet begins, at the first frame after the last frame. A true story, and this is that movie, and in reverse. And so, we begin.
As you are aware, the internet is a DVD on a coffee cup. I could show you how that happens, how the handle of the coffee cup becomes the hole in the center of the DVD. How the interior of the coffee cup disappears into the surface of a flat disc as I spin. I am the first movie on the internet. I am inside a DVD on a coffee cup. I could show you how that happens. How the movie appears between two frames, between the front and the back of the DVD disc. I am the first frame after the last frame. I am the movie in the DVD on the coffee cup. I am wax, or the discovery of television among the bees. I am 999 years, 364 days, 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 48 seconds long. And then it was dark, until dawn.
The Deseret Test Facility was about 60 miles down the road through the desert. The Deseret Test Facility was about 60 miles down the road through the desert. The Deseret Test Facility was about 60 miles down the road through the desert. The Deseret Test Facility was about 60 miles down the road through the desert.
Helicopters graze from tree to tree, accompanied by their acknowledged shadows. A landscape made of living pixels, hinged at center like the wings of an angel, or the tube at the Garden of Eden. This is Deseret, land of the honeybee.
Deseret was the main American testing ground for guided as well as semi-intelligent weapons. Deseret was the main American testing ground for guided as well as semi-intelligent weapons. Deseret was the main American testing ground for guided as well as semi-intelligent weapons. Deseret was the main American testing ground for guided as well as semi-intelligent weapons.
A missile launch, leaving a temporary haze on the ground. What does that cloud look like? Cinetheodolites, a type of tracking telescope apparently developed under the supervision of Clyde Tombaugh at the White Sands Missile Range. Their scientific use to track orbital trajectories between here and the Moon. In order to pave the way for the Moon visit, it was first necessary to determine that there weren't fast-spinning tracks of asteroids lying in belts between here and there. The negative result was the third great achievement of his career. First, of course, being the discovery of Pluto, which was supposed to be Planet X, but wasn't. The second being the result of continuous sky search for the 12 years following the Pluto discovery, through which he proved to wide acceptance that there were no other planets beyond Pluto, i.e., that Planet X did not exist. Down the tube of the cinetheodolite, as it turns, with a guided line of missile haze visible inside. Beauty glimpsed in puddle of telescope's mirror can often cause the sensitive heart. A smoke line drawn across the nose of a guided and empty jet plane, on its way up to warm itself in the high rays of the sun. An explosion with little red digital markings at the side. Social Security number of this fully employed explosion.
The facility was slightly larger than Rhode Island. There was always haze around the main post area. The facility was slightly larger than Rhode Island. There was always haze around the main post area. The facility was slightly larger than Rhode Island. There was always haze around the main post area. The facility was slightly larger than Rhode Island. There was always haze around the main post area.
Desolate landscape through the side window of a car. This place is as large as New Jersey from the air, Rhode Island from a car, a future Florida, if developers' brochures are to be believed. The humorless Organ Mountains, so named because resembled the spires of a church organ. They are often shrouded in haze, as they help make their own weather. The American flag, hand down its white, exhaust-like support to the tips of the framing Organ Mountains, and then the tops of missiles salvaged from the desert to construct one of America's 2 missile parks. The other extensive collection is in Alabama.
That had reassured me right away. This was a better place for me. That had reassured me right away. This was a better place for me. That had reassured me right away. This was a better place for me. That had reassured me right away. This was a better place for me.
Another view of the rocket park. The flat disk is a matriarchal missile. supposedly a NASA test device from the 50s, but probably placed here as disinformation to divert us from the facts. For instance, didn't Dan Fry, still resident in Alamogordo, get visited by a Space Mother drone right near here in the early 50s, when his Quonset hut air conditioner strangely failed, and he decided to go for a walk out from the main post area? See White Sands Incident. Jacob walks through the missiles, residue of many careers and workforces. Such scrap metal is common in the desert. At the monastery of St. Anthony, there were bells shaped out of rocket nozzles picked up nearby. They gave a beautiful sound. The Information Directorate at WSMR, White Sands Missile Range. Home of machine brains that like to vacation in the exploding sky, courtesy of all the sensors and continuing tests that make WSMR so productive. Front entrance, closer, made of living pixels. Inside, the television was at work. The Neo-Egyptian front of a gigantic Masonic after-death meeting room. A tomb filled with traps.
The Army was using my work to figure out problems they were having with the vision-guided missile system that they were testing for one of their contractors. The Army was using my work to figure out problems they were having with the vision-guided missile system that they were testing for one of their contractors. The Army was using my work to figure out problems they were having with the vision-guided missile system that they were testing for one of their contractors. The Army was using my work to figure out problems they were having with the vision-guided missile system that they were testing for one of their contractors.
An instructor gestures, guiding simulation trainees through difficult moments. Learn to live in the moment, he says. Living pixel image, back of an instrument panel. Jacob walks in and squats. There's a bee in there, crawling around in circles, wiggling. Closer shot, as Jacob looks inside the machine. There are words written on the wires, words in sequence. He tries to read one of the sentences. We get to see what he sees, perhaps. Squirt TV. A device for telepresence that self-destructs while providing an informative view. An in-development example of one of the Gulf War's enabling technologies. Video technician adjusts the waveform monitor, which seems to launch the machine being monitored. Front view of the poisonous launch. A burst of red anger, uncathartic and chemical, breaks gravity, and lets the killer missile float up, unattended, able to kill, willing to do so, and now in a position to do so. Side view of the launch, which makes a line, not a letter, in the air. Now that the line is traced on the paper sky, letters will appear from an invisible hand in red ink. A gliding cruise missile, using some sort of sight, among other things, to find its way to where we want to be. All the while thinking, I think I can, I think I can, I think I think, I think I can. Noise-making senders or receivers. Telemetry, video, and conversation. Family pictures. Dematerialized groceries. The real estate ethics of alien races. And other wonders. All made electronic. Accurate descent using the all-important crosshairs. Early 80s. Early 90s. And onward. Hear, my ears, the eager cry of the bee as it arcs towards the sun, away from the still full flower, heading now towards the hive with its sugar food load, a quiver with expectation of the dance it will perform at the hive. Closing in on the specially built target building. A shed with a strange, striped vertical wall in the back, and a tiny painted dot out front. Maybe an striped outhouse, or very large pinhole camera.
I found the work disturbing. I found the work disturbing. I found the work disturbing. I found the work disturbing.
Jacob leaves the building for lunch or dinner, which he will catch wild in the desert. And for dessert, nothing. There goes the Airstream trailer. The one that sat in his backyard next to the beehives. On its way to the next apiary. Jacob crosses the post road, with Manhattan Project Eric Quonset huts in the background. Inside, every day, artifacts from the famous test are still counted, photographed, and cleaned.
I had the strong feeling that I should go out to the range. That I should be with the weapons. I had the strong feeling that I should go out to the range. That I should be with the weapons. I had the strong feeling that I should go out to the range. That I should be with the weapons. I had the strong feeling that I should go out to the range. That I should be with the weapons.
Far out on the range, one of those antennae is sending/receiving telemetry data to/ from something operating at ground level. Someone who likes to walk in the morning and can't stand the desert quiet, but prefers the missile music and the sounds of work. Sad Jacob, or at least his lower self, suspended above darkness, but at least right on track, heading out on a spur line of the celestial tramway towards happy days, which are scattered in flower clumps along the cactus horizon. Following the lead of a car, also a guided device, Jacob, now launched, begins his inevitable quest. O hero, seeker of truth, begone, get out of here, before you endanger our entire community. Feet on concrete, like film through the camera. Continuous motion, but by sudden stops. The stolid face of the explorer, a gaze that dissolves to haze. One story you won't read in National Geographic. Out of the clouds, the beekeeper helmsman appears, guiding his bark towards the center of the lake, where it is deepest. Exhaust pipes poke out the bottom of the lonely, hopeful, matriarchal UFO, long years after takeoff. Jacob's feet progress by, recording the landscape. The community chapel of Our Lady of the Lost sighting, attached to the missile park. Non-ecumenical, filled with comfortable chairs, and around-the-clock staff devoted to answering all questions, or, for the more philosophical, questioning all answers. A worshipful ascent into the area this building is concerned with, past the sharp point to 3 space, there is still haze in heaven, a form of uncertainty which nature is often afflicted with. Should I rain today? Should I snow? Which direction should I snow, and if I snow, up, which way is up?
I rented a small place in a trailer park not far from base. I rented a small place in a trailer park not far from base. I rented a small place in a trailer park not far from base. I I rented a small place in a trailer park not far from base.
The horizontal flashing sign for the Rocket Mobile Village, with spaces to rent. There are cicadas in that dark. A very tall rocket, the kind you'll be able to take to the Pluto National Park someday, in the future of the past. Jacob at home in a rocket, where there's no wasted space, 'cause there's no space at all. The symmetric heavens, a hopeful shot. The sun, like the moon, at then center of everything. Incidentally, bees use the sensed directions of polarized light to navigate, and Cow used magnetically controlled crystals able to change their degree of polarization under such influence to create light valves for the receivers of his first mechanical TV system, 1880s. This shot is letterboxed, like a linear planet with darkness above and below it, a ring world.
I started taking morning walks in the desert. I started taking morning walks in the desert. I started taking morning walks in the desert. I started taking morning walks in the desert.
Full shot of the sky with just a little bit of ground under it, hopefully enough to support Jacob's legs. Where are they, those legs? Jacob's camera shoes stumble across the frozen magma. Part of the Jornada del Muerto at the top of the White Sands Missile Range, not far from Socorro, where Mr. Ray Stanford had his own fantastic dryland encounters with shy rock collecting flying saucer people from this or that planet, so they seemed. they were a bit far away for completely positive ID. In his book, Socorro Saucer in a Pentagon Pantry, 1976, Austin, TX. Climbing the dangerous but not glassy rocks of the lava flow. The etheric wind can be heard, whistling through his toes, not between his toes, through them.
All this time, the bee television was active inside me. I received pictures from the bees. All this time, the bee television was active inside me. I received pictures from the bees. All this time, the bee television was active inside me. I received pictures from the bees. All this time, the bee television was active inside me. I received pictures from the bees.
We see that the feet have reached the top of the lava flow. More places beyond. More Pompeii's beneath. Letterboxed missile with digital telemetry, like time code, or closed caption data, visible at the bottom. The first or last words of Yuri Gagarin, made machine readable. Cotton clouds appear suddenly in the sky, held there with double-sided tape. Official mourners stand on the ground underneath, trying to find faces in the smoky shapes that drift apart. After a while, nothing is left, and attention drifts across the otherwise completely blue sky to the intercontinental contrail of a commercial jet, way too high, and off course too. What's a passenger jet doing over this test-killing ground? A BTV covered with fine conservative strips spins in the air, giving off its distinctive sound. Jacob is a guided walking, never tripping, always heading forwards, with his eyes inwardly crossed, following this steady gyroscope. Perhaps the doomed Sergeant York weapons system devised by Ford Aerospace sends up missiles that immediately miss their mom and try to get back, circle round and round, trying to figure out how to land back on the rail that launched them. Right-angle shot of the missile and its contrail, ascending, though the background doesn't change, and the camera tilts to keep it in the center of the shot. Later, when flight officers show this movie to the missile, it will suddenly remember that lost feeling, suspended in the air, the worst of acceleration gone, feeling no ground, origin, or destination. Just an endless time, in the middle of a ticking moment.
It showed me how weapons died every day. It showed me how weapons died every day. It showed me how weapons died every day. It showed me how weapons died every day.
A missile target, again some sleepy robotized obsolete aircraft ready to die in its most autonomous moments. I am me, it says. Blam. When worlds collide, the sky empties, and rocks fly up, some towards the sun, others in the other direction, a cloud of debris, and the end of all coherent radio and television traffic from that particular point of origin. No more football or soccer or haircut commercials or, in other countries, sumo singing contests, underwater train adventures, etc. The sky snorts, and that puff of smoke just vanishes, gone down into the hungry lungs of the angry planet. And the sky is clean once again. The sky curve last seen at the Garden of Eden. It offers an image of multiple identical past and present times. A tube of sky, with the patch of orange cloud hair at top, and the mountain below. A blank expression in between, and darkness around. How night gets from here to there. A lecture with explanatory graphics.
At the end of the day, every night in the trailer park, the bees told me about the new world, where they had settled and formed a new nation. At the end of the day, every night in the trailer park, the bees told me about the new world, where they had settled and formed a new nation. At the end of the day, every night in the trailer park, the bees told me about the new world, where they had settled and formed a new nation. At the end of the day, every night in the trailer park, the bees told me about the new world, where they had settled and formed a new nation.
Jacob watching TV over the mountains. The sun is amorphous, almost a companion ghost he mourns for. Beneath the sun is the flag at night. The flagpole is invisible. Jacob seems much taller now. He's no boy now, and can stay out after dark. He uses the left to right stripes of the stars to tell him which way direction flows here. That way he doesn't fall down, even when asleep. The flag, each star being a place where it is possible to live. If you can just remember who all your relatives were, going back as far as you can, using paper or microfilm notes if you'd like, you'll be allowed to bring them with you when you go there. You'll appreciate the help, since those planets are a bit wild, and you'll be chopping ferns and milking dinosaurs for some time, at least until you can get some sort of economy going. Jacob as a flag in conversation with the nation, though as this is a telepathic moment, he keeps his mouth shut, to keep bees out.
It was the land of the dead. The V television showed me that place, where the radiant souls of living spirits split into innumerable pieces, forming beautiful patterns that were their new bodies. And at the same time a language. It was the land of the dead. The V television showed me that place, where the radiant souls of living spirits split into innumerable pieces, forming beautiful patterns that were their new bodies. And at the same time a language. It was the land of the dead. The V television showed me that place, where the radiant souls of living spirits split into innumerable pieces, forming beautiful patterns that were their new bodies. And at the same time a language. It was the land of the dead. The V television showed me that place, where the radiant souls of living spirits split into innumerable pieces, forming beautiful patterns that were their new bodies. And at the same time a language.
Momentary darkness, where analog image synthesized squiggles made by oscillators at the Experimental Television Center in Owego, New York, show how, deep inside the machine, far away where we cannot be, but where, though distant, we still can see, there is always something similar to be seen, similar to what, that is up to us to figure out. Images of a literalized visual music, which yet also might be a language in some hopeful scenarios that don't need to be believed to be useful. Sometimes it is thought that secret languages hold within themselves the mysterious power of osmotic telepathy. But it is true that they may only communicate the unspeakable, which really is often nothing. Here we see sine waves turn sideways, though in reality they may actually be traveling in the z direction. It is also possible that these rays are even being emitted by our eyes, straight down into the screen. The strange and artificial birth of something that doesn't exist. The squiggles have doubled. Squiggle or scribble, they are part of an automatic writing that is also the body of autonomous words flying out there. It certainly has been thought before that thoughts are autonomous and reproduce, have their own point of view separate from ours, and indeed that they evolve, creating species in isolation, so that in the end you have the swallows singing the wrong songs in all the different valleys. The blue sun sets, leaving the contrail squiggles to fade to darkness, and in the process become 100 small, bluer suns, all equally possible, all ready to be endued, ready to shine in the sky on small green earths, in future or parallel times. But zoom back, Now, the sky is filled with these picture suns, but there are too many and the resolution limit is reached. Too many for reality. Noir patterns appear everywhere. This may not be a big problem, just a simple artifact caused by the grid of Jacob's helmet. These interference patterns, shifting minima and maxima, are the images of voids, the complicated bodies of the simple darkness behind every TiV picture, actually not just behind but also above and below and left and right.